How to avoid being fired from your own company as a founder. Avoiding being fired from your own company as a founder can be a challenge, especially when the company grows and becomes a corporation where the interests of shareholders and the board of directors play a more dominant role. However, there are several strategies that founders can implement to minimize the risk of losing control of their company. Here are some key points. 1. Maintain majority ownership or voting control. One of the most important factors in avoiding being fired is ensuring that you maintain control of the shares or voting rights, even if you sell part of the company to investors. Keep more than 50% of the shares. If you control more than 50% of the voting shares, you will have the majority in any important decision. This ensures that you, as the founder, have the final say in decisions like firing the CEO. Shares with multiple voting classes. In some cases, you can create different classes of shares. An example is what Mark Zuckerberg did with Facebook, Meta. Zuckerberg retained Class B shares with greater voting rights than common shares, allowing him to maintain control of the company even while selling shares. By dividing shares into different classes, you can retain voting power while attracting external investments. 2. Establish founder protection agreements. It's possible to include legal agreements in the company's founding documents to protect the founder. These can ensure that even as the company grows and other investors come in, you'll have certain protections. Founder rights agreements. These can establish that the founder cannot be removed from certain roles, like CEO or president, without a supermajority, for example, 75% of the board's votes, making it harder to oust you. Golden parachute agreements. These agreements ensure that if you are fired as the founder, you will receive significant compensation. While this doesn't prevent dismissal, it financially protects you and gives you leverage. Board seat clauses. You can also include clauses that guarantee you a seat on the board of directors or give you a minimum number of votes, even if you sell part of your stake in the company. 3. Carefully select investors and board members. As the company grows and needs investors, it's essential to choose the right investors who share your long-term vision and are aligned with you. Strategic investors. Choose investors who understand your role and value your leadership. When selecting board members, it's crucial to choose people you can work with and who will support you, rather than just looking for capital. Build trust with the board. While the board of directors has the power to fire you, you can minimize that risk by building a solid relationship with them. Maintaining good communication, being transparent in key decisions, and ensuring that everyone sees the value you bring as a founder helps you gain their trust. 4. Avoid over-reliance on the board for key decisions. It's important to maintain a balance of power between the board and the founding team. One way to do this is to ensure that the board does not have absolute control over all important decisions. Clearly define responsibilities. When setting up the governance structure, you can limit the board's ability to fire you without your consent, especially in the early stages of the company. Establish a solid growth plan. If your leadership produces results, the board or shareholders are less likely to seek a change in direction. Investors are looking for successful companies, so if you keep the company on an upward trajectory, it strengthens your position. 5. Keep a clear vision and an active role in the company. One of the reasons Steve Jobs was fired is that his leadership style was seen as problematic at the time. However, if you can strike a balance between innovation and effective business management, you are less likely to be seen as an obstacle to growth. Show effective leadership. Be aware of the operational and financial challenges of the company, and make sure to demonstrate that you have the ability to manage them. This includes building a strong executive team that complements your skills. Stay strategically involved. While it's common for founders to delegate many responsibilities as the company grows, staying strategically involved can help reinforce your role as an indispensable leader. 6. Avoid early overcapitalization. Many founders seek too much capital in the early stages, which dilutes their ownership too quickly. Avoid overcapitalizing the company in its early phases so that you don't lose control too fast. Opt for gradual capitalization. Instead of seeking large early investments, consider raising less capital in initial rounds to maintain a larger share of ownership until the company is in a more stable position. Conclusion. To avoid being fired from your own company, as happened to Steve Jobs, it's crucial to maintain control of the shares. Establish agreements that protect the founder, choose the right investors, and demonstrate effective leadership. In the United States and many other countries, business laws allow founders to be ousted if they lose control of ownership or the board's trust. However, with a well thought out strategy and appropriate protections, you can reduce the risk of losing control of your company.